What is up? What is up, everybody? We're just going to go, Shay. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, you guys realize Dr. Shay is kind of like Dr. J. So I'm going to call you Dr. Shay, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Thanks.
And we might rhyme the whole way.
That's great.
On the Make It Happen podcast here today, me, Mike Vanderpool, talking to cool people doing cool things, and Dr. Shay Pursel here, author, entrepreneur, art, everything, awesome person that I have heard about, and I believe we've met at least once in real life, or IRL as the kids say. But today we're going to get to know you a little bit more, talk about this book and coloring book that you've got, and just talk about entrepreneurship. And hopefully by the end of these 45 minutes, give or take, we'll have a little bit better idea about who Shay Pursel is and the cool things that she's doing.
Well, this is phenomenal. I've never recorded a live on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. I've never participated in an interview. I've never been interviewed. I've never been on a podcast. So this is like breaking new ground for me. So thank you so much for inviting me here.
Well, this is awesome. I love it. And I'll do my best not to embarrass myself, but I probably will.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Awesome. So Shay, you and I have a background in teaching. We've taught at some of the same places. So let's kind of start there, because this is a place I'm playing in right now, the education space. I've talked to a lot of folks in the education space. You taught for how long?
16 years, yeah.
Holy smokes. And what subjects?
So I wanted to start a cafe. I bought the old bank building in my hometown village of West Unity years ago, and I wanted to start a cafe and hire college students free of charge, basically as like an internship. It would provide me with free labor and give them an opportunity to do whatever they wanted to entrepreneurially. And so I went out to Northwest State Community College and spoke to Dr. Von Plessner. And in that moment, he said, you know what, we can't supply students for an internship, but would you like to teach? And I said, well, sure. And he said, what would you like to teach? And I said, entrepreneurship. Von said, we already have someone teaching entrepreneurship. How about economics? And I said, sure, I'd love that. And he did not know this, but when I was at Ohio State as an undergrad, I had assisted an economics professor as a work study job. So that did interest me. And so my first class was microeconomics, and then I delved into macroeconomics. And I taught probably over 50 different subjects over the course of 16 years, predominantly in marketing, brand management, management and leadership, principles of marketing, consumer buyer behavior, international business, all sorts of things. And I was given opportunities to teach at 2 additional colleges. And at the end of it, my final class that I taught for 4 years for Eastern Gateway Community College was advertising. So I really liked the whole world of business. I was able to create an entrepreneurial class at Northwest State Community College that was called Intro to Business. And I had 3 students. And what we did was we came up with this music festival called the Boombalati Music Festival. And they just kind of ran with it and created a music festival. So getting back to entrepreneurship itself and my interest in entrepreneurship, I used to work at Polaris Amphitheater in Columbus, Ohio back in the mid-90s. And I was the first operations assistant the first summer of the venue. And then I became the first corporate sales assistant and served 3 more seasons, but year round while I attended Ohio State. And it was a really cool experience because we were like an entrepreneurial incubator. I was the youngest executive at the age of 19, and the oldest person was in our admin office was 34. So we were a really young crew. I was given a lot of opportunity that I think most people do not get. I was responsible for VIP care, so like the VIP club, pre and post party events, the hospitality staff, box suite, event management kind of things. And I was given a lot of responsibility at a young age. And it really just anchored my success going forward. And having said all of that, though, I always wanted to write a book because of my experience with mental illness.
Okay.
So in 1997, I was a fifth year student at Ohio State, and my brain wasn't working the way it was supposed to. I could not learn, and I needed medication. And the medication, once I was diagnosed, allowed me to be 100%. So I'm symptom free. I'm still on medication. It's been 28 years. And I am a walking billboard for mental health because it's so taboo, but like everyone and anyone may face that in their lives. It's not a choice we make. But entrepreneurship is a choice that I made. And I ended up going to Defiance College to get my master's in business and organizational leadership, graduated top graduate award 4.0. So I proved to myself that I could think well. And then, life happens. And I was told that my master's degree was outdated. If I wanted to continue teaching at the college level, I needed to up my game. So I researched and found Franklin University in Columbus, Ohio. And I did an online degree, started it in August of 2017, graduated in May of 2022. And my dissertation was female entrepreneurship and the componental theory of creativity in business. And I just latched on to an organization that I've been a member of for 8 or 9 years called the Female Entrepreneur Association. It's an international organization located in London, England. And I learned that lifestyle businesses are a real thing. And my dissertation committee, they pushed back and they said, there's no such thing as a lifestyle business. Why is female entrepreneurship different than male entrepreneurship? Why isn't it just entrepreneurship? And then I ended up getting a female on my dissertation committee and who owned a business. And she said, there's no such thing as lifestyle businesses. This is, they were just telling me that there was no such thing. But there was. I had witnessed it. And I also witnessed there's a phenomenon happening even in rural Northwest Ohio where I live, where there's all kinds of women, all walks of life, all ages, all generations, starting lifestyle businesses. And so I got into defining what a lifestyle business was, creating a definition of success in lifestyle business. And I asked 15 female entrepreneurs that owned lifestyle businesses in the greater Midwest metropolitan area that, I asked them 7 questions, and of those questions, one was define success. And the overall assumption of what success was enough. It turns out that there were a lot of themes that were seen in my dissertation, but the main theme that I ended up really understanding was that it becomes less about yourself as you age and more about benevolence for your employees. Okay. So it's interesting because you start the business in your 30s or 40s, and it's all about your passion and pursuing a business of interest to you that's different than what you've always been working in. That's something that's all yours, and you develop this new brand identity. But as you get older, it becomes less about profit and more about what supersedes profit as a goal, which is the creation of an organizational life. The female entrepreneurs I studied said there's no such thing as work-life balance. That's a myth. But the organizational life allows for the female entrepreneur of a lifestyle business to blend her personality and her person and her private life with her professional life, her new identity and new brand. And she steps in to lead authentically for other entrepreneurs and for her clients.
So holy smokes, there's a whole lot here to unpack. This is phenomenal. I knew this is why you're going to be an awesome guest. So let's start here. Define a lifestyle business for me, please.
Sure. I think a lifestyle business is the pursuit of a passion or interest that supersedes a profit goal and allows you to develop your own organizational life. So you'll have flexibility of time. You have no other person as an authority to you in your operations. You become your brand, and you step into a new you. And a lifestyle business is a way of giving back to your community, staying small, but also being extremely creative with the creativity as your number one business resource. It's not so much about money. It's really about innovating through creativity.
Okay. So these would be a business that potentially probably starts out um, uh, one person, and then maybe they bring a couple people along with them, but it's not going to grow to be a billion-dollar exit and some of the things that some of these investors are
No,
talk about. Yeah. Okay.
there is elevation monetarily. So
Hmm.
a lot of the women I interviewed who already have lifestyle businesses are millionaires. And there is a way to be a millionaire and still be extremely small and still have your flexibility of time and the life that you want.
Hmm. So let's go way back though. Where did this entrepreneurship bug come from? I mean, did you have a lemonade stand, or do you selling, candy at school? Where did this come from?
No, okay, okay, that's a fair question. I think I know the answer. So my sister is an artist,
Okay.
and I was always trying to monetize her art. And one time in the car, I have a brother also, and one time in the car as a family, um, so my grandpa gave my brother a dime, just a 10-cent coin. And it's a story in my household that I looked around in the car and found a piece of paper and said, "Hey, do you want to buy this for a dime?" And he sold it to me. Well, I sold him the piece of paper for a dime. And they were like, "Shay likes money."
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I wouldn't describe myself as that, but I would say I also have a cousin who I grew up with that's the same age that always promoted brand awareness to me. You know, I had to stay in fashion and wear the right clothes and wear the right shoes and be the right person to be in the right clique. And that was at a very young age. So I
Hmm.
would say, maybe that, but I would say it's from a business perspective. I mean, I majored in sociology in undergrad, but from a business perspective, it really didn't hit me that I was meant for the business world until I got that job at Polaris.
Okay. Fascinating. Was it the transaction itself? Because a dime is a dime.
Yeah.
Or is it the adrenaline rush of I made a deal? Like I don't know.
Um, well, for me now, so I was very shy when I was younger, but I was
Hmm.
a cheerleader and I was a dancer, a ballet dancer. And um, I knew when to turn on the charm, so to speak, I guess.
Hmm.
But going to Ohio State with 50,000 other freshman students, I realized I could be friends with 50,000 people. And being at Polaris Amphitheater, I always had tickets that I could just leave a stack of tickets at someone's house and
Hmm.
cheeks in the seats. They needed people there to buy beer.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the social connection is what really drives me. And
Okay.
I live at home alone. I work alone. Um, I am alone more than I am around other people, but I become alive and happy and completely extroverted and fulfilled when I'm talking with somebody. The human connection is so important to me. And that is what sales is. I've taught professional selling.
Hmm.
That is what sales is. I actually think I like sales. So it is
Okay.
transactional. I think I do. I
Okay.
really like sales.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, so Polaris as an amphitheater in these college towns, it was similar up at it used to be DTE, now it's Pine Knob, or maybe it's back to Pine Knob, whatever, up in Auburn Hills, Michigan, where Oakland
Oh,
University, where I went to school. We had the same thing, right? And
yeah.
all these concerts were coming, all of a sudden there were tickets everywhere. I'm like, aren't people paying for these? And it's like they don't care about ticket sales. There's
Yeah.
better margin on the alcohol, right? Is that what
Yes.
it
Well,
is?
they don't actually make the money off the artist. The artist makes the money off the ticket sales.
Ah,
And then
yeah.
Ticketmaster also has a big cut.
The
So
the business side of the entertainment industry is so fascinating, isn't it? I don't know. Other than that, how much
we had
experience?
to come up with ideas, ways for people to spend money at the facility. So one of the
Mhm.
things we did, we invented a bocce ball court and created tournaments for bocce ball right there on site.
Very cool. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, because it can't be all about alcohol, right? But that there's a lot that goes along with selling alcohol. But the concessions, that was money in their pocket, T-shirts, swag, free stuff,
Mhm.
or that was all. Any way that we can make money. So, I mean, someone in our office created lanyards, the things that
Yeah.
hold your keys or whatever, and sold those privately. The general manager, his nephew, he brought in created 2 lemonade stands on either side of the venue. And this was unfair, but it was also genius. He allowed him to keep all the profit from those lemonade stands for his college tuition.
Oh.
And he sold buku lots of lemonade. So that I just think I witnessed a lot in that time.
Exposure to it somehow, some way is provided you the experience and the opportunity to make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. And, to the point of books being a business, that's a very entrepreneurial adventure also. I'm in the book world completely. I own So Very, which is a consulting company for female entrepreneurs with lifestyle businesses. I own the Art Bank, which is art because I'm very creative. And then I own the book label, which allows people to become first-time authors and market and publish their brand, which is their book. So, books are a big thing.
We think that people don't like to read or like are watching TV or scrolling on their phones, but I mean, there's a billion books and there's more every day. So somebody's reading something, right?
Yeah, and there's lots of ways to make money at it. So you can record for Audible. You can do ebooks. You can do in-print books. You can sell on Amazon. You can sell through Ingram Sparks to have your book in Barnes and Noble. There's lots of different ways you can go through. You can be a self-publishing artist, which is what I am. You can be a hybrid published artist or author, or you can go traditional and get paid to write. But I did the whole business analysis of this, and I'm telling you, self-publishing is the way to go. You make the most money and you own your words. So there's no question to me. I mean, somebody might dangle a $50,000 or $75,000 carrot for you to write a book for a traditional publisher, but guess what? You sell your soul to that publisher. You no longer have rights to own what you just wrote.
Well, and I know from in the teacher side of it, or faculty subject matter expert side, wasn't it like faculty or a college professor that would write a book would only get like 15%? It was horrible compared to what the publisher got.
Yeah, it's there's just, I think if people gain the confidence to represent themselves, it would be an easier time of things. And also, writers need to be trained in sales because writers don't necessarily know the business side of the book. Yeah. And they'll pay, we'll say $12,000 to have a book published through a self-publishing services company, which is what I'm going through for my first 2 books. Not Ivy Oxley and Her Mecca. I did this on my own, but they're losing a little bit of control on the recoupment of the funds and the energy and the time spent writing what they write and publishing their words, because they think, well, the publishing services company, I paid them so much money, they're going to sell my book. And that's not true.
Well, yeah, right.
That's not true. So what I'd like to accomplish through the book label, I am actually looking at publishing the book label report, which is a newsletter that informs a subscription newsletter that informs authors how to sell. And one of the things is you create a website that's just for each book that you write, you create its own website. And with that website, you create a Gmail account. And with that Gmail account for email, you automatically have a YouTube channel. And if you want to sell internationally, you just post it for free on Amazon and you market by recording videos like today, but on YouTube, and voila, you can sell your book. People don't know that.
Yeah. And honestly, so I've published a few things. What was Create Space back in the day? Was it KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing? Right now is Amazon's?
They're still in existence. Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
No.
Yeah. You don't need to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do that part of it. Now, the book covers, that's always an interesting conversation because it's very similar to like YouTube thumbnails. You got to have somebody click on it to actually, pick it up and put it in their cart. But I do want to talk about your books for sure, but I want to go back to the entrepreneurship space because you said something very interesting earlier about female entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Help me better understand how what female entrepreneurs need versus male entrepreneurs?
Well,
Is that a fair question?
yeah, it is. So in this introductory novelette, it's only 12,000 words, so it's smaller than a novella, much smaller than a novel. I release 6 academic theories for practical application along with a business model. And I'll just read to you the business model. And this encompasses lifestyle businesses for female entrepreneurs. The successful female entrepreneur designs a lifestyle business around her identity and brand with her networks, goals, positivity, and leadership culture toward fulfillment of her unique organizational life. It's not to say that a man cannot have a lifestyle business. Like when I think of a lifestyle business, I would say like owning a motorcycle shop and he's selling motorcycles. That's just like kind of like what I think of. Like for women, I think of, someone who designs hats for a living. Like it's just something very niche, but very fun, very creative, but more about the enjoyment, not so much about like, it's a segue away from corporate structure. You're basically saying, I no longer want structure. I want to bloom in my own right.
So is it monetizing a hobby?
Kind of. You're close. You're getting closer. It's not a hobby business, but it is, I guess. But you still have to have an audience and a client. So there are things you have to kind of look at. I will share the theories. So in my dissertation, I proffered my first theory, which was the theory of female entrepreneurial design. And that theory basically says what I've been saying, which is your goal as a lifestyle entrepreneur is supersedes profit with the development of an organizational life. But then there are 5 sub-theories. The 5 sub-theories are the theories of lifestyle design, social wealth management, creative expectation, systemic motivation, and authentic culture. So lifestyle design is branding a desired lifestyle as a business submerges the influence of the female entrepreneur's identity. During the pandemic, I participated in multi-level marketing companies just to kind of talk to people, meet people. And, a multi-level marketer does not own that company. She doesn't design the product. She doesn't own the product. She's just in this pyramid structure where she earns a trickle down of a very little bit of dollars to offset her efforts. So the lifestyle design, though, it could apply to multi-level marketers, which I observed in female entrepreneurs where their identity submerges into whatever it is they're selling. The theory of social wealth management, bullying for girls is always social. I guess I just associate automatically that women are more social than men. That's probably not necessarily true because that would be defining extroversion by the feminine. And that's not true. But there is a theory of social wealth management, which states that being socially connected to networks of resources leads to improved management skills.
Yeah, women are typically, I don't want to hate generalizing, right? Mothers are the most awesome multitasking, making it happen people that exist. So is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So one of the things that we were looking at doing at the college level was taking, moms whose kids are now leaving the nest, for lack of a better way to say it, and helping to turn them into project managers, because that's what the entirety of getting to me to soccer and on time is, and making sure everything else is taken care of. But now I'm thinking you could also take that same person with the right idea and help them develop their entrepreneurship skills.
Yeah, connect people, refer people, collaborate, advertise, sync, with synergy. Coordination is like, it's its own job. Projects, for sure. I feel like that's what leaps me into action is having projects. So like this last weekend, I participated in a Spring Fling event. So I had my novelette, I had my coloring book, but I also painted these teacups and saucers it was pottery. It was like a craft. I painted them and then had a local florist pot them with flowers and then sold them at the Spring Fling.
Oh, very cool.
And it wasn't about making money really, because I only sold them for $15 a piece. Probably the cost was like $9 for me. But, you know, it's working with other people. So I collaborated with the florist for a project, and I had to gather all the supplies to create the item for sale. And then I had to, you know, carry them to the location where people could see them in person, and also finalize what that looks like to sell something. So I had to get set up on Square, and so I could finalize the sale. I had to get a vendor's license so I could charge sales tax, but also I needed the right gift bag to sturdily hold that potted flower as they went from tent to tent.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of project management that women do in as head of household for childcare or as mothers. But I mean, just in life in general, I mean, you have to, you know, women like to get their nails done, their hair done, their makeup done. They like to shop. Like all of that takes a lot of skill, to be honest, because you got to buy the right thing. You got to make the time to do the thing, schedule.
And just from watching my wife, and again, I hate making these generalizations, but she's an expert researcher.
Yeah, we are.
Like, like, you know, me, I'm like, oh, that looks good. The packaging is great. Let's just throw it in the cart. And she's like, well, I'm going to look at the thing. I'm going to look at the reviews, and I'm going to do this. And yeah.
Yeah, my boyfriend of 17 years, he's a local attorney. There was one time in our relationship where he said, "Are you trying to get information from me?" I'm like, no, this is just, you know, this is just what I do. I like to talk about things and research. And
well, let's talk about your books then. So you've got I'm sorry, what's the title? Ivy Oxley and Her Mecca?
Ivy Oxley and Her Mecca. So I wrote this, and I wrote my nonfiction and developed this character, Ivy Oxley, and she has friends, and they're successful female entrepreneurs in a make-believe digital world that's based in New York City and London. They coincide. She has layered branding within her Mecca. She has lots of boutique businesses, lifestyle businesses, and restaurants. And it's an engaging little read. This is just a couple hours to read this book. It has my theories for practical application and what the Mecca is about. And then I took the words from here. Well, first of all,
can I pause you for a second? Because I'm better understand. So it's nonfiction, but based around it's fiction, but it's based around your theories?
Yes. This one is based on my theories.
Yep.
I didn't say that I'm publishing a fictional series next spring called Girl Millionaires, where she is the lead character.
Oh, very cool.
And I used AI to design this cover. I put the words from inside here, plugged them into ChatGPT, and this was the first image that came up. Okay, cool. Then I took this image.
It did a good job. It did a good job. I would have guessed it was AI just because I play with so much AI that but it works.
It's my first time using AI, so I did not know how that would go. But then I took the same image and made black and white image for the coloring book. And then the words also from this novelette were used to illustrate
very cool
coloring pages.
Yeah.
It's geared towards Gen X and millennials.
It's got the whole adult coloring book feel, right? Like very cool. Nice.
So lots of fun things. That was my first time using AI. Even the printer, I had the books printed. I used AI to format them.
Yeah.
That was
so where did the idea? Let me restart, because I want to talk about everything, and it's all trying to come out of my mouth at once.
Okay.
I want to talk about AI. I want to talk about publishing. I want to talk about selling books. Yeah. How are you selling these books?
So I'm a member of different organizations. So I'm setting up on my website. I have it on my website, drshaypursel.com. I'm setting up at events. So there are a lot of book fairs that you can buy a booth for like $45 and sell your books. So there was a book fair a few weeks ago for the first time in where I live by a lifestyle business owner. She just decided that we needed to have a book fair. So she had a Scholastic book fair in her shop, but she allowed local authors to sell their books outside of her shop on the sidewalk. And I was able to get 144 working emails from the people waiting in line to buy books that day. It was just like a 4-hour event. So then I hired a marketing strategist from my hometown area to come up with a pop-up on my website address of drshaypursel.com to allow someone to put in their email address, and that will start my email list. To launch a book, it's recommended to have an email list of a minimum of 1,000 people, 1,000 emails. So that's step one to selling your book, is to have an email list. You own that email list. Nobody owns it for you.
Isn't it wild? Like, of all the things ever, that the most valuable thing on the internet is probably a email, a valid email. Yeah. Okay.
And it's free.
Yeah.
You know. And everyone of every age has email at this point. So that's also nice. But you, through the email, then you can release newsletters, you can release book titles, you can release, events where you can, where you're going, where they can find you, where they can buy your book.
Like you're doing a book signing here, or going to be at this festival there. Okay.
Yes. So I've got, 4 or 5 book fairs or book signings on the schedule.
Very cool.
And if you can do some presentations, that's helpful. This podcast is super helpful to me. Thank you. Also on tomorrow, I'm a member of the Bryan Kiwanis Club. So Kiwanis is an international civic club. There's places like Rotary, Lions Club, any kind of club. You can actually get a good turnout for receiving your message. So any chance you get in front of people to talk about what you're doing and to have physical copies available where you can interact with humans, that's how transaction happens that way.
Yeah, because it's similar to maybe the film industry, any artistic endeavor, right? It's almost easier to make the thing than it is to sell the thing, because selling the thing sometimes is a little counter to how you are as an artist, right? I bet you'd rather just sit there and, well, not you, but some people would rather just sit there and do the work all day and not ever have to talk to anybody. But these things don't sell themselves.
And you can hire people, but also like if you just get your book on Amazon, just put it out there to where someone can click on it and purchase it. You can do free ebook promotions for a week where anyone that clicks on the ebook can download it for free on their Kindle. You can get into discounts and promotions. That's not my way. And when I set a price, I want it to stay that way. But it's nice because Amazon handles the print on demand, the sale, and the delivery, and you just get paid a check every month for the royalties. So honestly, Amazon, to me, it's proven its worth.
Yeah, and it is, seriously, folks, it is so easy. As I check my estimated royalties for the month of $0.
Yeah, well, you got to tell people about it. They don't know about it.
So speaking of AI, I wrote, air quotes, I wanted to see if I could make a book using AI when ChatGPT came out. I had AI write. I did not write maybe I wrote a couple words. I had AI generate, but turned out to end up being a 400-page book.
Okay.
And it's made maybe 13 cents because it's not good, because AI did all the work, and it's not a good book.
I'm going to advocate for the book editors and for the authors that need book editors. There's a whole industry for the indie authors, the independent authors, and it's called book editing. Nice. So I belong to the Professional Book Editors Association. I'm certified in copy editing, proofreading, writing coaching, developmental editing, all the things. And so manuscript reviews, like that's a thing. There's so many people that just have a manuscript sitting in their closet at home, scared to release or have anyone read it, but that's what a good writing coach can help you walk you through. And book editing, I'm told, even with my own work, you're only as good as your editor. My dissertation is only as good as my editor.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you need somebody that can see what you don't see and tell you the truth about what they're reading. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So if you can set your ego aside, because that does happen too. You think you got the best book, the bestseller, it's number one right out the gate. You know, you might not sell it as quickly as you think, and you have to stay consistent and promote it and talk about it. It's a lot of work. I mean, you become a marketer.
Well, that's I would think even as a lifestyle anything that you do as a lifestyle business or an author, anything, there are certain things like we can do print on demand, we can do all of these things, but I'll argue there is no easy way to do this, right? It takes effort, it takes work, and it takes probably some tears and some throwing of things at times, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if you have your email list, you can't force people to read the email.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, this is fascinating. We could talk forever, but
Thank you.
I try to keep these at like 40, 45 minutes. So I'm trying to be selective with the questions here.
I have something I'd like to contribute.
Oh, yeah, go for it. What do you got?
So when I worked in a writing workshop with fellow writers for 4 years, and through my publishing services company, and Ivy Oxley, when I started writing my trade book for my dissertation called The Business Artist, A Scholar and Successful Female Entrepreneur, will be released this fall, I came up with the character Ivy Oxley, and I came up with all of the characters for Girl Millionaires. And I didn't really understand what it meant. So I wrote the nonfiction. I wrote Ivy Oxley and Her Mecca completely. And everyone was like, who's Ivy? You know, we've been trying to figure out who Ivy is. We think she's you. And I said, no, I'm not Ivy, but I don't know who she is, but that's her name. It turns out, so I have my ancestors are from London, England. And it turns out that my great grandmother's name was Ivy.
Oh, very cool.
And I never knew that. Cool. And I was telling my dad about the characters, and he's like, what's their names? And I was telling them, and he burst into tears and says, my grandmother's in your book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So a question then, does Ivy Oxley have social media profiles? Can I follow Ivy Oxley on Facebook or Twitter or?
So she will. I have ivyoxley.com.
Oh, nice.
I have that domain. It's just got a couple of my paintings, I think, on it at the moment. So I have a lot to develop on the web, but I have probably 10 different domains. I own girlmillionairesbooks.com, ivyoxley.com, artbankshay.com, drshaypursel.com, sovery.llc, the book label.co and .com, and the booklabelreport.com. So I think Ivy's going to have her own merch store, basically.
Yeah.
I think I approached it as like the, what's that book? Harry Potter series. You know, that woman that just sat at a cafe and just hand wrote the whole series because she was, bankrupt and not working. And she just wrote this and it turned into this dynasty.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my Ivy. I think she could be big.
Because when you look at any of those things, it's the intellectual property of the characters that really generate wealth beyond the book itself, right? The movies, the Legos, the every. Ivy Oxley needs her own Lego.
That'd be awesome.
I'll talk to my people at Lego. I buy.
Thank you.
I buy Legos, so I'm on their list. Lego has my email.
Or I think it's the museum. Is it at Disney in Florida somewhere? There's a Lego museum. I've been to that.
There's Legoland down in Florida.
That's it.
Legoland was interesting.
I love Legos.
Yeah, yes, let's go.
I love them.
They're the best toys ever.
My brother's Legos, I put all of his Legos together. I remember making helicopters and all the things.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to get you downtown Toledo one of these days for something. Have you talked to the Toledo Public Library about doing a signing or anything down here?
No, I would love
to do that stuff.
I would love
They have that all the time.
I would love to. I've got to do my author revisions for my nonfiction memoir
Mm-hmm.
to get them moved from developmental edit to copy edit. And then I do author revisions, and then I go to proofread, and then I do author revisions, and then I go to publish. So I'd like to so I'm just doing kind of small promoting of this, but I'd like to do full scale promotions and book signings at all the places I humanly can possibly physically do them for my fall launch of both.
Coming to a Kroger parking lot near you.
Is that the way to do it?
I don't know.
Everyone does get groceries. That's actually pretty strong there, Mike.
Yeah, you know,
Great idea.
I just know that. Yeah, my grandma used to go to the Broadway market across the street and buy all her books. But
they sell Girl Scout cookies at those.
You know. So do you have a relationship? Speaking of Legos, at the Williams County Library?
I do. So
isn't there a big Lego collection there? There's a Lego display there. There used to be back in the day.
I don't know. I know the historic department has they feature collections of local residents. So right now there's a photography collection from a former lifestyle business owner of photography. So they've got antique cameras and things that you can look at. But because I am a local author, they make it a rule that they will put a copy of both of these books on the shelf in the history department. They will not be in circulation, but I will permanently reside on the bookshelf.
That is awesome.
But then when you buy ISBNs, when you publish a book, you can buy an ISBN for the library, and then that book can be in circulation. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to cover? Because I have one last question.
Okay.
But we'll give you permission to talk about anything before we do that one.
I just want people to know, especially female entrepreneurs, that they can use creativity to succeed. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be an artist. And I think of authors, writers as artists, but you don't have to be an artist to succeed at business. But if you don't have the resources, the monetary resources, I mean, the female entrepreneurs during the pandemic, they had to pivot to stay successful during that time. And that's creativity. So I just know that creativity leads to innovation, and that's business success. So
creativity is not artistic ability.
No.
They are two separate things that often
imagination. If you can imagine.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So here's the question I ask everybody, but you in Williams County, and for those of you that don't know, Williams County, Bryan, Ohio, that is the northwestiest county of Northwest Ohio, right?
Yeah, around the border of Michigan and Indiana.
You're right there. Mm-hmm. West Unity, Mill Creek, been to that high school before, Williams County Public Library. Downtown Bryan, talk to the people in Bryan. I think downtown Bryan would be a great place based on how the town square is, for a Back to the Future party. Almost set up just like the movie, isn't it? Yeah. I think a few years ago they had the DeLorean at the Williams County Public Library. Anyway, this was, I can't remember who was there.
Oh my gosh.
I checked it out back in the day. But long story short, here's the question.
Okay.
I'm coming to Williams County.
Yeah.
I'm coming to Bryan next week. And you're going to take me to breakfast, lunch, and dinner and show me the coolest thing in Bryan, Ohio. Or Williams County, we'll say. Where are we going? Dr. Shay?
Oh, we are going to, we're going to have coffee at a cafe in West Unity called Mill Creek Coffee and Cones, which is where I will have a stand with my books for sale. So we're going to go there. It's very, very cozy, very small. They sell ice cream also.
Ooh, ice cream for breakfast?
Well, yeah, it's available. We'd probably do lunch at Cora's in Bryan, and I'd walk you over on the square to Spangler Candy Museum.
Yes, I love candy. And people don't know this. Dum-Dums come from Bryan, Ohio.
They have the Dum-Dum suckers, but they've also purchased candy companies, so they now sell make and sell Bit of Honey, the sweethearts for Valentine's Day, those kind of chalky hearts. They bought Necco. They sell Necco.
Yes.
It's just phenomenal what they've done. And they have a state-of-the-art museum right on the square where you can buy their products and their swag, T-shirts, bracelets, whatever, chapsticks. There's entertainment. It's free for kids. Lots of it's just great. So I would take you to Spangler Candy.
Awesome.
And if you were interested, I'd take you to see the wall at the Ohio Art Company of Etch A Sketches, because we invented the Etch A Sketch.
Yes. Ohio Arts headquarters.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Williams County's got it going on. Williams County's pretty dope.
Well, and the last thing I would take you is dinner at Zazarax. We call it Zazzy's. A New York City designer designed the interior of it. And so basically we have an entrepreneur, a male entrepreneur, who bought half of the 100 block. And so he's renovating all of it. He's bringing to life an antique ballroom. He's creating a hotel that that houses 7 rooms on 3 floors. We need this hotel. It's right on the square. And he already has Zazarax, and he's expanded Zazarax. So there's a full menu. You can get mocktails, tapas. All of the meat is it's not buffalo, but it's filet mignon. So you can if you get a burger, a smash burger, it's filet mignon meat.
Oh, wow. Okay,
reasonable prices, beautiful. It's like stepping into old Hollywood. It's just stunning. And that's my favorite restaurant for sure. And that's on the square in Bryan, Zazarax.
Sounds like a very, very, very exciting day in Bryan. Is all that downtown?
All of it except for Mill Creek Coffee and Cones. But then there's also a store in West Unity called Made New Market. It's Christian based, and it features artists in the area. So she's got at least 30 artist entrepreneurs featured in her shop. So I would take you there too, in West Unity.
Sounds like a beautiful day in Northwest Ohio with Dr. Shay Pursel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
All
Mike.
right. Well, thank you so much for this. I learned a lot. I wish we could talk more. We got to get you downtown. I'm going to find a way to get out to Williams County. I love Northwest Ohio. Just so many cool people doing cool things, cool places. So thank you for sharing, and look forward to seeing you out and about. And everybody, all the links for Shay's books and the other every million things you've got going on, we'll make sure they're in the description. So thanks for checking it out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shay.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.